For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a fuck that crap. Okay, so very simply, everyone out there going, oh, Romney, he's the most heroic person on the planet. You're an idiot. You really are. And, you know, it's one of these things where you have to just look back in history. Andrew Johnson, they were trying to impeach this man. He was one vote away from being impeached. If 7 Republicans had not stood up and voted against their own party, a political foe would have been eliminated. You got that, Bobby? Are you understanding this, Bobby? 7 Republicans voted against their party to keep a political foe in power. Those men were heroes by that definition alone. Okay? One man voting with the Democrats is not heroic. Okay, call it whatever you will. Okay, fine. Let's just concede it's heroic. Okay, ooh, heroic, he did it. Okay, great, he did it. Don't say that he's the first senator to ever vote against his party in an impeachment, because I don't care what you say. Those 7 people voted against the impeachment of a president, which to their, you know, trying to find a cool word here, right? They did a better thing. They actually said, you know what? We could vote with party lines and we could have this guy out. 2 of us. Only 2 of us need to vote with the party lines and this guy's gone. And then, you know, we can do what we want. Instead, they said, we're going to vote our conscience and this person has not risen to a level where we believe that his actions should be impeached. And in fact, later in history, I believe that it was, you have to look up what that impeachment was about. It was about the executive's power to dismiss a secretary, a member of the cabinet of the president, without letting Congress know. And Congress had enacted a tenure act that basically said that no, that Congress had a say in this matter as well. If they were the ones that were going to approve the cabinet postings, then they also had to have a say in them being kicked out. Now, what ended up happening is that the Republicans voted in favor of saying no, that's an executive privilege. The executive branch gets to make that that decision. So what you have done, what the impeachment charges that you've brought do not rise to a level of impeachment because the president is enacting powers that were given to him. And later on, I believe the Supreme Court also backed this up, and it was a few years later, but they backed it up, and so now we have that thing. So what happened there? They voted to protect executive privilege. Mitt Romney voted not to protect in executive privilege by saying that the president did not have the executive privilege right to deny the witnesses without Supreme Court intervention. That is the second article, the obstruction of Congress. And in fact, I need to look that one up because I think that that's the only one that he voted yes on. I think he voted no on the first article. In fact, let's Google it right now. Ooh, I love Google. Okay, so Google, which article did Romney vote yes on, or vote guilty? Let's do that one. That might get us a little bit better result. So that's literally what I walked in. Which article did Romney vote guilty? Okay, guilty vote, blah, blah, blah. Okay, AOC among Dems praising Romney for guilty vote on one article of impeachment. You can look this up. Just type in which article did Romney vote guilty and it will come up. So that means that one of them he did not believe in, and I believe it was the abuse of power. Executive privilege. But anyway, The fact is that he voted only guilty on one, not both. So, okay, he's a hero, but this isn't anything new. Almost every other impeachment has been bipartisan. Bipartisan. Okay? So, one guy's not bipartisan. I mean, you want to split hairs? Fine, bipartisan. But is it really truly bipartisan in the sense that you had a bunch of people? I mean, because you got to look back. How many in the House voted for the impeachment on either side? Was it along party lines? Was it not? So again, um, Romney, not the hero they're making him out to be. Okay, man of principle, whatever. Okay, great. He's standing on his principles. God bless him. He lost. Now he's going to suffer the impact. Now, Vindman, don't get me started on that chubby dickhead, okay? Because Mr. Chow Thief from, Ranger School from back when he was a frickin' lieutenant, never changed his frickin' stripes. The guy, you can go look at his Lieutenant Colonel Hinkman, I believe his name is. Look at his Twitter feed. He actually has something on this where he talks about how this guy was a douchebag while he was under his command under a certain time. And his commanding officer, who is now retired, chimes in on the Twitter feed and says, yeah, by the way, remember you bringing this to me and what a turd this guy was and this, that, and the next. Then you just got to go back and find out that this dude, when he was going through Ranger School, committed the cardinal sin, okay? Those of you that are not familiar with Ranger School, just suffice it to say it's hard, very hard. I only went through Ranger Indoctrination Program, which was nothing compared to real Ranger School. Let me just say that right off the bat. It was like a taste of, hey, this is slightly the hell you might go through, and it was bad enough. But let's just say that food is your friend because you're not getting a lot of sleep. You're not getting a lot of rest. Food. It used to be, I think they raised it now that it's 2 MREs per day. It used to be 1, and there was a chance you could lose that too if you did the wrong thing during an assault or something where you were raiding, something for supplies and you accidentally blew up the wrong truck. Anyway, the fact is that people go there very, very healthy, very, very large people, and they drop 20, 30 pounds, okay? And that's with eating. So when you go and you're stealing other people's chow, you're doing more than just like, ha, 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 you don't get, a little bit of calories. You screw with their mind. It's already a mental challenge enough to be up for 22, 23 hours a day, getting maybe 5-minute, 10-minute standing naps when you are waiting to get inspected or something. But that food you're looking forward to, that is like the highlight of the day. It's like, oh my gosh, at the end of this, we might get some chow. I don't care if it's a couple bites of a frickin', pound cake or something from the MRE. You get something, and it's something. But this dickhead, okay, so from day one, he's a dickhead. There's all these weird things about his combat infantryman badge, which those of us who've been under fire, survived IEDs, all that kind of stuff. When we get that badge, it means a lot to us. It's a sacred brotherhood. For those of us, well, it used to be. Now people are saying that they're being handed out left and right. But the fact is, still, that was a sacred brotherhood. So there's some shit about that. I don't know why everybody's rushing to this dude's defense. Okay, he did something that he thought was right, amounted to nothing. It was a nothing burger, and then you went on with that. So, honestly, these two people that are being like raised up on pedestals in the last couple of days, Vindman got escorted out of the White House today. His brother got fired too, from what I understand, and good. The fact is that the guy was undercutting his chain of command's position. He was undercutting the U.S.'s position among its allies with junior officers and foreign officers. Namely, I believe the Ukrainian officers were involved in the incident that he got his formal verbal reprimand from his actual commander, who'd been hearing these rumors for a while and then decided to go listen in for himself. This is all on his personal Twitter account, by the way. You can go read it for yourself. He describes the situation that led to this. And so basically what ends up happening is that he goes and he listens in and he's like, I'm hearing this dude badmouth, the chain of command, America's position, and he said this can't happen anymore. So he tapped him on the shoulder, took him outside, and gave him a verbal reprimand at that moment. So go look it up. Neither one of these two guys is the hero that they're being set up to be. I would be more apt to give, Romney a little bit more props just because he's been in the game a long time. And this could honestly just be him saying, you know what? I wanted more witnesses and fuck. Good on him if that's it. But honestly, to see me like, ooh, the man of the hour, when 2, 3, 4 years ago you were calling the dude a racist and putting you back in chains and big old books of, binders of women that he was going to hire, but you made it sound like he was going to hire for other horrible reasons. No. Anyway, tell me what you think, and we'll go from there. Bobby, you're just wrong again. Bye.
I'll call the Brute Squad.
I'm on the Brute Squad.
You are the Brute Squad.